For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Ty Higgins. We're on the campus of The Ohio State University in the Student Union for a great event for these kids within the College of Food, Agricultural, and Environmental Sciences. It's the Planting Professionals Etiquette Dinner sponsored by the Ohio Soybean Council. I want to talk with all the leaders here on this stage as we get ready for this event. Adam Cahill, one of them, he's Director of Career Development with the college's Career Development Office. Julia Brown is on my left. She's Director of Communications with the Ohio Soybean Council. Allison Kinney, you might recognize her face and her name. She's the intern for the Ohio AgNet here for this fall and winter, and also taking part in this event later on tonight. Great to have you all with us, and appreciate everything you're doing to make this event possible.
Thanks for having us.
Let's talk about why, Julia, because the Ohio Soybean Council has done this for a lot of years in different ways, right? We try to think of different ways to engage these students, but why is it so important to be in front of them as you are a few times a year doing events like this?
Yeah, so I think we already know that the college itself does an excellent job of preparing its students to enter the workforce, but you know, we try to support them in that. So for a long time we did what we called our Night for Young Professionals, had students come in, get their resume looked over, do mock interviews, things like that. And we'd been doing that for about 15 years now, decided maybe it was time to change things up slightly. So went to Adam and his team, asked, you know, what is enticing to students? What do students need as they prepare to enter the workforce? And their team had suggested to us this etiquette dinner and helping students to, you know, in my mind when they first suggested it, it's like, well, don't we all know to keep our elbows off the table, right? But it's more than that. It's more about, you know, being able to network. How do you talk to somebody over a dinner and get your elevator pitch in and things like that? So really, again, just helping those students to get ready to enter the workforce and help ensure that our soybean industry and really the ag industry across the state is filled with, you know, good workers who are prepared to network and make those connections.
Okay, so elbows off the table. I'll make a note of that. And Adam, it's so much more than that, or not to slurp your soup, or which fork goes with the salad. It is about making those connections. And there are going to be some leaders here, about 50 leaders within the agriculture industry. How important is it to get them in front of these young people as well?
Absolutely. And, you know, and our goal is to have, 8 students, 2 professionals at every table, so that all the students can really ask the questions in a comfortable setting to learn, to network, to find different things they can learn about from the people who've already been here in their shoes. And one of our major goals as a career office and as a university is to make sure students can figure out what could be out there for them, and just that exploration piece. So bringing in the vast array of industry professionals, OSU alumni, and college alumni here tonight to interact with our students is something we're really proud of. And the fact that they get to come in here and figure out and hear the stories from those who have been in their shoes, who've been working in the industry, whether it's 1 year or some cases 40 years. It's going to be a great opportunity for them to learn, network, and just have a good experience.
It's been a few years since I've been in these kids' shoes, and I think that the mindset has changed about how they think about their career and about networking. Are you finding that kids are thinking about this kind of stuff early on than they ever have?
It hasn't been that long since you've been in their shoes. So come on, don't give yourself some credit here. But no, it's always been an evolution of where we're at with our current industry and our current market of both job seekers and those who are looking to hire. And part of our goal in the career office is to help both of those parties really find that common ground and ways they can connect. And both have to give a little, both have to take a little. And ultimately, it's about what can we share and how do we articulate the experiences these students have, the skills they've gained at whatever type of employment, class, club, leadership opportunity, and help the employers realize that's what they need. And we have help with the employers on their side of looking for what are the things that we truly need for a job to be done, or a component to be taken care of for our business, and how do we help them identify those skills in our students.
I guess I'll go right to the source with Allison. How early on did you think about how important it was to network and meet people in the industry in order to jumpstart your career?
Yeah, honestly, I can't say early enough. You know, you come into college as that freshman and you're like, oh yeah, there's another career fair. Okay, I'll go talk to a couple people. It's not a big deal. Oh, I got an internship. Okay, whatever. It's really that sophomore year that it really starts hitting home, that you're like, okay, these are skills that I need to have, because I go somewhere and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. Or, oh, how do I start that conversation? And events like this are really beneficial because you get to be, you're at an etiquette dinner and it's formal, but it's more of that casual setting because you can ask those blunt questions or like, when you're sitting in an interview and someone, asks you this question, what answer are you looking for? What mannerisms are you looking for? And it's really beneficial to be able to have those blunt conversations and get to know that answer. So when you are put in that situation, you know what to do.
On top of the networking aspect, there's also just getting involved in the industry. And that could be through, of course, getting a job in the industry, but also being a part of a commodity group like the Ohio Soybean Council and Ohio Soybean Association. You guys offer student memberships. What's entailed in that?
Yeah, so you get a lot of the benefits that our regular members do, but I would say probably the most relevant, I guess, for students would be our scholarship program that we have. So folks who are attending either a career school or a four-year university are eligible for these scholarships. You can find more information about them on our website, soyohio.org. Those are actually going to be opening up here at the end of the month, and then we will have those open through about mid-January for students to apply. And it's an added bonus on top of some of the representation that you get in the legislature, being a student member, just another benefit that you get as part of our organization.
Adam, you're going to be talking about actionable steps after this event. What comes next for these students? What do you hope the takeaways are? And what would you consider actionable steps as far as when they leave this room and begin to have those conversations about their future?
Absolutely. Of our roughly 200 students that are going to be here tonight, about half of them are first or second year students. So and like Allison said, they're on the ground. They're starting earlier and earlier. And all of those students met with my staff earlier in this term if they're first year students. Now they're at this event. They're building blocks. The next thing we're hoping to do after that is the people at my table. Can I connect with them on LinkedIn? Do I send them an informational email and just thank them for their time? That follow-up piece. And that's where those relationships really start to blossom through that next thing and the next thing. And you never know when that can turn into hey, come in for a quick job shadow or an informational interview, and then they may hire you as an intern. And then that can lead to that full-time job. One of the greatest things we like to talk about is that the number one place and reason the students find their first full-time job is from internships. And that's why we place so much value on them. And that's something that we know is going to happen tonight through some of these conversations.
A lot of value in coming to the Ohio State University, but Allison, it's events like this that added value and what this university gives you as far as real life experience. Talk about how you can utilize this and other events that you do in order to shape the way your future looks.
Yeah, and to piggyback off Adam, it goes right into this. It's that network. How quickly, how big can you build that network? And it's not just, I chatted with this person. It's that email. It's the actually building that relationship so someone can validately be like, yeah, I saw her here. She does this, actually knows who you are. It's really just being able to build that network. And Ohio State really, truly offers that. I can tell you right now, that's one of the reasons why, I chose to attend Ohio State is because it adds so much value, not only to your time as a student, but beyond.
I'd be remiss, Julia, if we didn't finish as we talk about students and their future to talk about scholarships. You guys have scholarships available through the Ohio Soybean Council. Talk about what that looks like and how students can find out more about them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned previously through our association we have scholarships, but we also have scholarships through our council on the checkoff side of things. So we have actually a brand new scholarship that's going to be available this year to students who are either ag education or ag communication majors. That's named after Tom Fontana, longtime director of research and education with our institution. He's going to be retiring at the end of the year, so we thought we would honor him with a scholarship this year. But our scholarships are available to undergraduate and graduate students. As I mentioned, you can go online to soyohio.org. We'll have all of the information and stipulations there. Those are going to open up, like I mentioned, at the end of October, and then the application will close then on January 16th. And I invite everyone from any major to apply, as long as you can make the connection back to the soybean industry, which is easier than you might think. Soybeans are in everything. So as long as you can make that connection back to the soybean industry, I really encourage everyone to apply.
The hardest lesson for etiquette for me is when there's already dessert on the table, you better sit where you want that dessert to be, because you can't reach across and grab somebody else's piece of cheesecake if that looks better to you. But those are lessons I learned along the way and lessons these kids will learn tonight. Allison Kinney, a student here at the Ohio State University, Julia Brown with the Ohio Soybean Council and Ohio Soybean Association, Adam Cahill with the Ohio State University College of Food, Agricultural, and Environmental Sciences. Great to visit with you all, and thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you, Ty.
Thank you.